Hey everyone, welcome back to Rhythm Railroad. So today I figured I'd shoot a little video just to show you what I do when I'm down here by myself. I haven't had a lot of time to work on the layout lately, so I figured today I'd just get home from work, come down to the basement for a little bit, run some trains, and that's it. Because I don't have, like I said, I don't have much time. So I wanted to show you what I do in order to get multiple trains running at the same time by myself. So obviously I'm using my control panel here, my dispatcher panel, to set routes and to keep track of the trains while they go around the basement. But also I'm using several different throttles to just keep things going. This one can handle, this is the Y throttle. It can handle 2 trains, and this one can also handle 2 trains with the swap option that I have here. But I could also stack trains here. In other words, once I get a train running, I could just go into another train completely, and that train that I let go, it still runs until I go back to it and I recall it. So right now I have 4 trains. It's more like 5 trains running. I have 2 trains on what I call the CSX line, which is the top part, the top 2 tracks here. It's a double main line, which actually acts as a loop. It's just a loop that goes back around again. And you see all the green is showing you what the routes that are set are. But the cool thing about what I do with the loop, since it's just a loop, I have one train running in one direction. You can see it here coming this way, here on the main line. And then the other train is actually right next to it, running in the opposite direction. Right over there. So, since those 2 trains are, not really stopping ever, I have the signal set for fleeting, which basically what that allows me to do is set signals so that it automatically figures out the next possible situation. It's kind of like ABS, but you can run it while you're actually set up for CTC. So in other words, by clicking on the signal, get a little closer here. So for example, let's say this signal here. If I right click on it, it says turn off fleeting because I already have it on. But the reason why you would fleet this is so that as soon as the next potential block frees up, the signal will go to the next possible signal indication. So for example, right here at Schenectady, you see that the main line, the main 2 is what I call it, on this side, has a yellow indication here, and that is because that block in front of it is available, and then there's a red signal after that. So it goes to yellow, but you see, right, it just turned to green right now because the next block freed up. So then that makes the next signal turn to yellow. Obviously the next one would be red because it's blocked. It's right here. So it just keeps figuring itself out until you cross it once again and it starts over again. Same thing going the other way. Now I don't have a signal there. I have, they will have a signal here eventually, but I haven't set it up yet. But it's the same concept. So if the train's heading in this direction, by fleeting it, this automatically goes to the next possible, signal indication. And you'll see that it'll turn green when, that next block frees up, which should be coming up now, if I'm not mistaken. Should be very soon. But anyway, so by fleeting, I don't have to worry about, switching these signals over. They just do it automatically. All right, we'll be back to that. I guess that train's very long, so it's taking a while to free up. Anyways, going back to this, the rest of the railroad is a single main line with siding. So it's basically lower staging. This is heading north. It goes past the junction here, which allows you to jump onto the CSX line if you want to. But you obviously continue this way, and then there's just sidings. It's just a main line with sidings before you hit the reverse loop going around. So right now I have, the 2 trains going on the loops here on the CSX, and then I also have one train making its way around the reverse loop before I get into the upper staging, which is here at Plattsburgh. That train's gonna actually, it's actually not there right now. That's a tail end. The resistors aren't hooked up yet, but it's actually it's in the staging yard already. So this is making its way all the way to, the front of the staging yard. Now, there's another train waiting to head out, which is, you can see it here. It's RT45. That's on the closer line to me. And right now it's pulled up to the next signal because it's waiting for this other train that's running to get past the junction, just coming out of the helix. And so then once that train passes, then I'll be able to head south with RT45. In the meantime, this RM15 is squeezing itself between the two trains that are here right now. So this is RT45 and this is RM15. That's the auto rack train, which I haven't labeled on the panel yet, but that's basically what's happening. And you can see that this train is waiting. So this is the one coming up north from the helix. So that's gonna head to the right, which is what I consider north. And then once it's past this junction point, this signal here, which is what RT45 is waiting for, this signal will turn yellow, unless I give it more clearance, then it will go to green. It'll do it according to what the route is that I set. So now this train, I have to obviously stop him for that red coming up, which is the end of, or the beginning of staging, before they head south again. So yeah, so that's basically what I do. I just get all these trains running and make sure that I'm not, routing them into each other. But like right now, for example, this train's about to go into the next block. So I'm just gonna set this turnout here, give myself the route. And I can go all the way as far as Summer here. And then eventually what I'll do is I'll just, like I said, RT45 is leaving. So I'll just route him up, to the same track as that. So I'm gonna go ahead and, now that that other train is pretty much in, I'm gonna go ahead and stop that train. And then I can swap to the other train. And in the meantime, I think what I'll do is I'll swap back, but I'll recall. You can just hit recall here. And the train that I want to gain control of is my cement train, which is this 4787 train here. So I'll select that. And now I have the cement train, which is the one now about to come into Willsboro, which is that siding I just showed you, right? And then my other train is the 3045, which is just waiting to be cleared so I can head south. So you can see there's still, this track is still being blocked by the cement train. You can see it here. It's about to release it. It's about to come off the junction there. So as soon as that clears, which should be now, this should look clear as well. So I'm waiting for this turnout. It's a little longer than expected, but there it is. It just cleared. So now what I do is I go ahead and give myself the route for, to head south, and then give myself a signal here. And then, since I can go as far as I want, I don't have any traffic on the railroad right now heading south, I could just take myself all the way down as far as I want. So for now, I'll just go to here, which is Fort Edward. But I can go ahead and get going with this train, which is your 3045. You can see I have a green signal because I gave myself, nice clear path. So I'll crank this guy up. And now he's on his way down to the helix, which is coming up right there. It's basically the peninsula, like the head of the peninsula. So as soon as I cross that signal, you'll see a drop. right there, just dropped. And then obviously I'm going to be heading south in this direction down to the Helix. So that's how I keep myself busy up here, or down here I should say. Yeah, so basically what I'm really controlling, you can see this train is making its way past Willsboro now. What I'm really controlling mostly is the trains heading north and south, and then obviously the signaling. So now I'm going to route myself to, well, I can't route myself up here yet because this is blocked still. That train is still exiting. So I gotta wait until that actually clears the staging. Right? So I'm gonna go ahead and slow down the other train. Slow this train down before I get to the signal right here. It's hard to see, but this is the signal that lets you into the yard. So as soon as RT45 clears, which should be very soon up there, then I can go ahead and line myself up. So we'll give that a minute. There it is. And then I can go ahead and switch this turnout and give myself my signal indication. So obviously because you're going into a red signal up here, right, that's your red signal way down there. What's going to happen is that this is going to show a yellow indication, especially because you're going into a turnout. You're going into a diverging route. So you can see it's red over yellow. I believe if it was going into the main, it would be yellow over red, or even yellow over yellow. So that's where we're at as far as routing. So now I can go ahead and speed this guy up again. Give it a little more juice. And that will get my cement train running once again. Right here. And like any other signal, obviously once it crosses the gap here, it'll drop down to red. And then it'll make its way, you know, into the same track, there it is, into the same track as where the other train was. So I got this free track out here. And that's where we are heading. So that's it. That's basically what I do. And, you know, it gets interesting sometimes. The more trains that I stack up, the more I have to watch out and keep track of everything. And you know, I've had a few close calls. No casualties, no disasters. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just a typical day down here in the basement when I'm not working on the actual layout. And it's a lot of fun. All right, take care.